SpaceX releases new animated video of mission to Mars. They're like, hey, this is what it would look like. Aren't you as excited as we are? Man, people are so jaded in 2023. You can't even talk about Mars. You can't get excited about Mars. You got to make cartoons about it. Go ahead.
Until it really happens, I think.
No, I'm excited. I like it. I like Mars. But I just really feel like, you see footage of the moon landing and like people at that time. I don't know if you've ever seen any of this stuff, but like it was hype. The whole world was watching.
Yeah.
It live, whatever, sort of semi-live. Well, depending on who you ask. Depending on who you ask, but space race and all that kind of thing had global attention.
Sure.
Now nothing has global attention other than the Will Smith slap. That had global attention.
Until we actually reach Mars.
I don't agree with you.
No, not even.
I don't agree with you. I think people are just, by the time we reach Mars, the headsets are so good that nobody's actually going to pull their head out of the dirt to know or care what's going on. They're going to be so goddamn self-gratified that it won't even register. And I'm not saying it won't make headlines, and I'm not saying you and I won't talk about it, something like that, but I'm just saying it will never be that global scale of everybody looking at once because everyone is so goddamn distracted.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You're going to be like, isn't this exciting? What? Just drool coming out of their mouth as the headset is feeding them gratification.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it's going to be monumental. And I think people will talk about it to a certain extent. But anyways.
Well, you're just not looking far enough in the future here. That's all. When we're talking like, how many years did he say? 50 years? He probably said like next year.
Didn't he say like 2030 or something?
Yeah, okay. So let's say 50 years. 50 years, you don't even know how good the headsets are. People aren't coming out.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
It's a nice little
Can you full screen that for me? I'm just going to like
ultra wide
move. I'm just going to. Is the song copywritten? I don't care. Turn it up. I don't care.
Eh?
Okay, so to be clear, I'm not saying I'm not excited about Mars. Are you kidding me? I'm all about awe and wonder and ambition and I'm like, that's the whole thing. Like, I'll be watching.
Of course.
My point was that unfortunately, I'm just not. I just hope. I guess that's what it is. I just hope that there can be sort of like a collective cohesiveness on things that are so immensely impactful to the human race as a whole. That people could actually come, but it won't happen. I'm telling you. Everything now has to be either distraction or combat, like debate of some kind, and even space. And I guess it doesn't mean it's not warranted. It's just like somehow the communication mechanisms that are available to us are currently being utilized and maximized in a particular direction. And it's not always the most awe-inspiring. And I understand why they make videos like this, to try to remind you that there is something above gratification. And the thing above gratification is awe. It's being in awe of something. That's the thing where you're just like, whoa, this is bigger than gratification. The trouble is gratification is tight and quick and constant and available around every corner. You get a Big Mac on every corner when you're swiping on your smartphone.
Yeah.
And awe, on the other hand, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of focus and attention. And so I fear that gratification is a difficult opponent to compete with for any other feeling, for any other endeavor. Anyway, that's all. It was a big picture thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
But
me
I do
or
think
you.
like the first touchdown on Mars, I think the majority of people on Earth will be watching it if it's live streamed. Like in the sense of like it's playing. It's not going to be live stream. To get the broadcast over here, it's going to take like quite a while. But I do think that everyone's going to pay attention for that first moment of touchdown.
So what is
But
your?
it might be just me. I don't know.
What is your prediction as far as timeline then?
What do you say? Like,
No, never mind what he said. I'm asking. I'm
2030?
saying you. It's obviously not having 2030. The Cybertruck's going to be here in 2030. All right, not Mars.
yeah, 2035, 2040, maybe. Yeah. It might not even just be humans. It might be just like
Bots at
being
first.
sent
Yeah.
to build like a colony or something. But yeah, landing on Mars, I think would be a pretty big feat, obviously. And I think a lot of people will tune in. Almost everyone. I think so.
You keep saying that. That's not like I'm suggesting to you that even if people tune in, they'll care about it for about 30 seconds. I'm saying they won't allow themselves to be in awe. The cynicism will creep in.
I agree
Why
with
do we
you.
have to be here? Who's funding this? Who does this benefit? You can't be in awe even momentarily. Then it wears off. And why do we need to be somewhere else? Elon this or whoever is involved with it at the time, Bezos or whatever rocket it happens to be. I mean, maybe that happened in every era, but. And maybe I'm crazy about that, but there is a sort of feeling of a lack of just the general sense of optimism about our endeavors. And I think it's a big part of it is a consequence of being instantly gratified all the time. You're like, all right, turn that show off. On to my next one. On to my next one. On to my next one. Oh, we landed on the moon. Sick. Now I need this. Order that. Do this. It's just such a competing force. For your attention permanently, that like remember when it felt like everyone in the world was watching that Red Bull guy jump out of the plane? That's just another dot. It's just another tiny dot in an enormous. People are still talking about the moon landing, whether it happened or not.
there's room to
you
be
think we're ready
skeptical
for Mars? You think we're ready for Mars? And I'm talking about the public. I'm talking about the psyche, the global psyche.
I mean, either way, most likely they're not going to fake it. They're actually going to do it. And there's no skepticism there. And I think at one point, people are going to tune in. And this might not be like a 30-second thing where they're just going to go on to the next thing. I think it might be more inspirational because this is the thing that happened in our generation.
Guys, I'm not pessimistic. I'm the optimistic one. I'm bitching about the pessimistic ones. I am pessimistic about pessimists.
All I'm
you
saying
got
is
it?
that I think there's hope for people to be, I guess, more inspired and really maybe prolong this like landing. And hopefully it would give like a mentality of something better than what we have right now. Like general society of just like negativity. That like, oh man, like we landed on Mars. That's crazy. So hopefully it would inspire other people. You know what I mean? And they would care less about their TikToks for like a brief moment. You know?
It's going to be on their TikTok. It's going to be remixed. It's going to have some freaking pop song applied to it. It's going to be packaged up into the same meat grinder that all other information that we're expected to process. I think it'll be like a lot of things in the future where you'll have a very small group that figures out the significance and finds a way to benefit, and then you'll have other enormous groups not necessarily grasping what's going on and the significance of it, even if they're exposed to it.
Hopefully that's not the case.
The information landscape has just never moved at the pace that it does. And there continues to be moments where I'm just like, you're noticing a news story that felt like it used to sit around a little bit longer, being replaced by 15 others. The pace and the expiration of almost anything happening now. And there's data like, go look at Google Trends, look at how long something is hot for, no matter what it is. There's like this shrinkage of the amount of time that something remains in the public space and consequence of availability and the means of production that everybody is a content creator now. The abundance of information and our inability to organize that and our reliance on computers to organize that for us. And then obviously the consequences of that. It's right on the information pipeline. It's right there, latched onto the thing that we use on a daily basis as our primary resource for information gathering.
Okay. I hear you on that. I think that there's a lot of distractions right now online. And hopefully people can just use their discretion and just focus on more important things.
It's more than distraction. It's not distraction. It's calculated. It's
hijacking of the mind.
It's manipulative.
Yeah.
It's whose agenda is it? Or sorry, better question. What's agenda is it? Mm-hmm. What is the effect? Who is driving this machinery? And people say, well, it's just spitting back more you to you. Okay. To what extent are we capable of resisting ourselves? Resisting those... I don't know. There seems to be that there's a way to kind of maneuver and affect outcomes via the operation of these complicated systems that we're not really, it could be like, it could be something as simple as distraction, or if you want to look at it more deeply, it could be something as, it could be something far more calculated, which is what a lot of people are talking about right now, right? Whether it be Congress or whether it be even just in public. Like, you know, I'm sure you have these conversations where people, everybody wonders. It's not just about revenue. That it's not that simple. It's about control. Control, manipulation, and persuasion, and to sort of the battle for your attention. So I don't really even blame people for that matter. Like, I know to a certain extent there is self-control involved in there, but some substances are so potent that we straight up say, hey, be careful around those substances. Historically, we go, hey, you know, willpower and stuff, it's cool, but like this stuff right here hits pretty much everyone. And almost nobody is safe. And almost no monk-like mental state is enough to manage that potency. This clip you just watched is sponsored by LaterCase. If you have been looking for an impossibly thin case to put on your brand new smartphone, you need to check out LaterCase, available for both Android and iPhone. Check the description of this clip in order to get a special offer.